Okay, start the recording. Are we doing lecture mode where everybody's silent but us?
Yes.
You have been muted. Your microphone has been turned on.
Courtney, why, if you can hear me, go.
Hello. Hello and welcome to the U.S. Department of Justice training on the Coordinated Tribal Assistance Solicitation for fiscal year 2018. We will be taking you step by step through the important points of the 2018 grant solicitation, available online through the Grants Management System, or GMS, for federally recognized tribal and tribal consortia. In this presentation, you will learn about how CTAS is designed to help you build collaboration for public safety within your community, details of what is required in the application, and how to apply. Please note that the CTAS application deadline is Tuesday, March 20th, 2018 at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. All applications must be submitted by this deadline. Now we'd like to take you through some important information for today's webinar. Live captioning is available for the hearing impaired. Please click on the media viewer to log in. Difficulty hearing via your computer? Well, click on Communicate at the top left and then Audio Connection to adjust the speakers. And you still can't hear dial information located in the meeting invite. And if you need technical assistance, please use the chat box. It's important to note that all participants will remain on mute throughout the entire session. And next slide, please. If you have any questions about the presentation, submit your questions at any time by using the Q&A box and selecting All Presenters. Questions will be answered at the end of the presentation. A recording of the webinar will be made available at the following link. Okay, that is all, and I'll turn it over to our partners at Department of Justice.
Good morning. My name is Jessica Andrew, and I'm joined with my colleague Julie Dupree, as well as representatives from all 9 purpose areas and our budget office. To start us off, moving into the webinar, the United States Department of Justice is committed to a sustained partnership with the tribal governments to improve justice and public safety in tribal communities, to reaffirm the Department of Justice commitment to tribal communities. And to do this, in fiscal year, DOJ launched the Coordinated Tribal Assistance Solicitation, also known as CTAS, which combines most of the department's available tribal government-specific grant programs under one solicitation. Since the inception of CTAS in 2010, the department has awarded over 1,800 grants, totaling more than $827 million. To hundreds of American Indian and Native Alaskan communities. Last year alone, 225 tribes submitted over 500 applications, resulting in the DOJ funding 125 tribes with 212 awards. These awards cover 9 different purpose areas, totaling more than $1 million. The tribes are using these funds to enhance law enforcement, combat domestic violence, strengthen justice systems, prevent and control juvenile delinquency, serve sexual assault and elderly victims, and support other efforts to address crime. So which offices participate in CTAS? The DOJ components offering tribal government-specific grant resources through 9 different purpose areas identified in this solicitation are listed on the screen. Under the Office of Justice Programs, you have the Bureau of Justice Assistance, BJA, the Office for Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, OJJDP, and the Office for Victims of Crime, OVC. Then you have Community-Oriented Policing Services, the COPS office, and OVW, the Office on Violence Against Women. These offices support the 9 different purpose areas, which we will be highlighting today, and they are also on the screen. The DOJ Tribal Government Specific Competitive Grant Programs outlined in the CTAS solicitation are referred to as purpose areas. Applicants may apply for funding under these purpose areas that best address their tribe's concerns related to public safety, criminal and juvenile justice, and the needs of victims or survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, and other forms of violence. Later in the presentation, Julius and I will go over the goals and requirements for each purpose area. I also wanted to remind everyone in this presentation that it is just an overview, and we encourage all potential applicants to review the solicitation for detailed information regarding each purpose area. So what's new or different for fiscal year 2018 solicitation? Over the past 8 years, through numerous meetings, tribal written comments, face-to-face tribal consultations, focus groups, and listening sessions, the Department of Justice has continued to further refine CTAS. In addition, the DOJ has circulated an assessment tool to tribes each year to gather feedback about their experiences applying for CTAS. The following changes have been made for CTAS for fiscal year 2018. The question and answer templates, which are the program narrative questions, have been further coordinated and refined across the purpose areas to ensure that they are clear and to reduce duplication. The strategic planning templates have been updated, and also the project abstracts for each purpose area are now new and required. Also new updates, the demographic form has been updated and is now only required for Purpose Area 1, the COPS office. The budget worksheet was redesigned and is more user-friendly with some new software updates which were applied. Moving on to the Purpose Area specific updates, there are 2 new updates relating to Purpose Area 4. Applicants must certify the extent of the planning completed and present all relevant documents related to the completed activities within their application. The scope of allowable funding options have been expanded to include the use of funding to build prefabricated and permanent modular facilities. Additionally, Purpose Area 5, OVW, has removed the restrictions that no more than 50% of the budget for Purpose Area 5 can go towards services for youth and services for children exposed to violence. Under Purpose Area 8, eligibility criteria now reflect that federally recognized tribes that have received OJJDP funding through fiscal year 2014 Tribal Healing to Wellness Course responses to underage drinking initiative solicitation, or the fiscal year 2015, 16, or 17 CTAS Purpose Area 8 are not eligible to apply for funding under this purpose area. Under Purpose Area 9, any active Purpose Area 9 awardees that have a period of performance end date on or after June 30th, 2019, at the time of the application, are not eligible to apply for funding under the fiscal year 2018 solicitation, Purpose Area 9. Also, the maximum award amount has been changed from $350,000 to $400,000 for a 4-year program period. Those are just some of the updates. Again, we strongly encourage all the applicants to review the solicitation for more detailed information. If you have questions about a specific program requirement, you can either write it in the Q&A box or you can reach out to the DOJ Response Center after the end of this webinar. Now we're going to switch gears and we're going to briefly review each of the 9 purpose areas. Again, this is a brief overview, so if you're interested in learning more about a specific purpose area, each purpose area will be hosting a separate webinar to provide information on their programs, application process, and eligibility. If you are interested, please visit the Tribal Justice website and sign up for those webinars. Purpose Area 9 is the Public Safety and Community Policing, and they are managed by the COPS office. This purpose area proactively addressed the most serious law enforcement needs and for the implementation and enhancement of community policing and strategies, to increase the capacity of the tribal law enforcement agency for a safer community, and to enhance the tribal law enforcement's capacity to prevent, solve, and control crime. Applicants can request funding to hire law enforcement, training, equipment, and to advance community policing to help address public safety concerns. The COPS office anticipates awarding approximately $26 million in 50 awards. Due to the limited funding available, applicants are restricted to funding based on the following parameters: sworn officers, 1 to 9 officers, $300K; sworn force, to 10 to 19 officers, $600,000; and sworn force of more than 20 or more, up to $1 million. Purpose Area 2 is the Comprehensive Tribal Justice System is managed by the Bureau of Justice Assistance, BJA, on behalf of all CTAS Bureau offices and programs. While other purpose areas may focus on a particular area within the public safety and justice system, Purpose Area 2 is there to initiate a broad assessment of the tribe's current justice system and to then produce a comprehensive plan to further develop and enhance that justice system. Purpose Area 3 Tribal Justice System is also managed by BJA. The overall goal of Purpose Area 3 is to provide key funding to tribal justice systems to develop, support, and enhance adult and juvenile tribal justice systems, and to prevent and the prevention of violent crimes and crimes related to opioid, alcohol, and other substance abuse. Purpose Area 3 encompasses both the Tribal Courts Assistance Program and the Indian Alcohol and Substance Abuse Program. Purpose Area 4, the Tribal Justice System Infrastructure Program, is also managed by BJA. Purpose Area 4 deals with the renovation and expansion of an existing facility or establishment of prefabricated or permanent modular buildings to provide new or continued services such as a single or regional jurisdiction corrections or detention facility, including adult, juvenile incarceration population, multi-purpose justice system, alternative to incarceration, treatment centers, and transitional living. Additionally, funding can be used to renovate correctional facilities that are no longer considered safe and secure to serve as detention facilities. Funding cannot be used to support new construction projects. Purpose Area 5 is administered by OVW, the Office on Violence Against Women. Purpose Area 5 focuses on decreasing the number of violent crimes, sexual assault, domestic violence, dating violence, and stalking, committed against Indian women and girls. Purpose Area 6, the Children's Justice Act Partnership for Indian Communities, is managed by the Office for Victims of Crime, OVC. The goal is to provide funding, technical assistance, and training to help American Indians and Alaska Native communities by providing a comprehensive and coordinated multidisciplinary response to child abuse victims and their families, and to provide trauma-informed, culturally competent, holistic services to child abuse victims and their families. Purpose Area 7, the Comprehensive Tribal Victim Assistance Program, is also managed by the Office for Victims of Crime. The goal of the Comprehensive Tribal Victim Assistance Program is to assist American Indian and Alaskan Native communities to develop, enhance, and sustain a comprehensive victim assistance program that, one, provides a coordinated, collaborative, multidisciplinary response to victims of crime, their families, and the community, and to provide trauma-informed, culturally competent, holistic services to all identifiable victims of crime, and again, their families and community. Purpose Area 8, the Juvenile Tribal Healing to Wellness Court, is administered by OJJDP. The overall goal of this program is to enhance the capacity of tribal courts to respond to alcohol-related issues of youth under the age of 21. Purpose Area 9 is the Tribal Youth Program. It's also managed by OJJDP. Funding under Purpose Area 9 supports and enhances the tribe's efforts to prevent and control juvenile delinquency and strengthen the juvenile justice system for American Indian and Alaska Native youth. There are a variety of priority areas, including the efforts to prevent intervention and treatment associated with this purpose area. It is recommended that the tribes choose no more than one area in which to concentrate on their proposal. Both JJDP purpose areas contain a strategic planning period and require travel to a strategic planning training. CTAS includes only the DOJ's tribal-specific grant-funded opportunities. So where do you find other DOJ grant programs? There are other programs available through the Office of Justice Programs, which can be found under DJS, NIJ, and the SMART Office. You can find more information about these other grant opportunities and these offices by visiting their websites on the screen. I'm now going to switch it over to my colleague, Julie Dupree, who will now discuss eligibility.
Thank you, Jessica. Good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to talk a little bit. I'm going to really talk more about eligibility and about kind of what you need to include as part of your application submission, and also provide some information about maybe some resources that that may be able to assist you with the application process. As far as eligibility is concerned, a federally recognized tribe or organization that is acting as the authorized designee of a federal recognized Indian tribe may apply. Applicants applying as a tribal consortium, which is another eligible way to apply, must submit documentation of authority as described under what an application should include section of the solicitation, and actually it should include each tribal consortium member unless an existing consortium bylaws or other tribal governance documents allow action without explicit authorization from the member tribes in the consortium. In that case, a copy of the bylaws or other governance documents that allow the tribal consortium's action without explicit support from all consortium members must be included with the application. A tribe may apply as part of a consortium and also submit its own independent application. So you could actually apply as a consortium for one purpose area, and then you could apply independently in another purpose area. If the applicant is a tribal designee under Purpose Area 5, OVW Violence Against Women Tribal Governments, Purpose Area number 6, OVC's Children Justice Act Partnerships for Indian Communities Program, or Purpose Area 7, OVC's Comprehensive Tribal Assistance Program, the applicant will need a tribal resolution or equivalent legal enactment from the tribe as part of the application, which should authorize the applicant to submit an application on behalf of the federally recognized Indian tribe and state the tribe's support for the project and its commitment to participate in the project if it is selected for funding. The resolution or equivalent legal enactment must be current, must be sufficient to demonstrate authority for the application, must contain authorized signatures, and must be submitted by the application due date. Please note that designees are not eligible for Purpose Areas 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, and 9. So please ensure that you read the application thoroughly to determine whether or not designees are eligible for each purpose area. Now, under Purpose Area 1, applicants must have an established law enforcement agency that is operational as of March 20th, 2018, which is actually the closing date of this application, or receive services through a new or existing contract for law enforcement services with the Bureau of Indian Affairs or a state or local agency. Under Purpose Area 5, applicants that received OVW Tribal Grants Program funding in FY 2016 and/or FY 2017 are not eligible to apply for new funding or continuation funding with regard to the FY 2016 and/or FY 2017 awards. Applicants with OVW Tribal Governments Program awards from FY 2015 or earlier generally are eligible to apply for Purpose Area 5 funding in 2018. However, eligibility may be limited as follows based on the amount of funding remaining in the applicant's FY 2015 or earlier award. So one category is if the applicant has 70% or more of funds remaining in the award as of March 20th, 2018, it is not eligible for FY 2018 funding in this program. If the applicant has 50 to 69% of funds remaining in the award as of March 20th, 2018, the amount of funding may be reduced from the requested amount. If the applicant has 49% or less remaining in the award as of March 20th, 2018, the applicant is fully eligible. Okay, so again, for under Purpose Area 6 and 7, I'm not really going to repeat this, but the tribal designees are eligible participants for this category, and the designees must provide a tribal resolution. Now, if the applicant received Purpose Area 6 funding in FY 2017, the applicant is not eligible to receive Purpose Area 6 funding in FY 2018, but would be eligible to apply in FY 2019. Same goes for Purpose Area 6. If the applicant received Purpose Area 7 funding in 2017, then the applicant is not eligible to receive Purpose Area 7 funding in 2018, but is eligible to apply for funding in 2019. Under Purpose Areas 8 and 9, again, just to kind of reiterate, tribal designees are not eligible to apply for these two purpose areas. So federally recognized tribes that have received OJJDP funding through the FY 2014 Tribal Healing to Wellness Court responses to underage drinking initiative solicitation, or the FY 2015, FY 2016, or FY 2017 CTAS OJJDP Purpose Area number 8 are not eligible to apply for funds in this purpose area. As far as Purpose Area 9 is concerned, any awardees that have a period of performance end date on or after June 30th, 2019, at the time of the application are not eligible to apply for funds under the FY 2018 CTAS Purpose Area 9. So now I'm going to go into what your application should include. So in your solicitation, you'll notice that there's a double asterisk that denotes what sections are absolutely required. So I'm going to go through those sections real quick. The Tribal Community and Justice Profile, that's 30% of your application score. The Purpose Area Narrative, that's 50% of the application score. The Budget Detail Worksheet and the Project Program Timeline, both cumulatively are 20% of the score. So it's really important that you read all the instructions carefully, respond to all the questions and requirements for each of those components that I mentioned, because again, it can get down to where the scoring is really competitive under these particular programs, and if it may be the difference between 5% or less even sometimes as to whether or not you get awarded. So it's definitely important to be attentive to all the requirements for those particular sections. So as far as applications included, which an application should
Hello, can you guys hear me? Okay, whoever's supposed to be speaking, you're not on. Can somebody that does have access to audio pick up where they left off?
This is James. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can, James. Do you want to continue?
I'll continue as far as I can. I can't see the notes version, so I'll just read literally what's on the screen.
That's fine.
Okay. So what your application should include, when you're going through your application, you want to make sure that you double check that you have all of these things, particularly the things with asterisks, or your application won't move to peer review. But the tribal and community justice profile, which is worth 30% of your application score. The purpose area narrative for each purpose area for which the applicant is applying is worth 50% of the score. And there was one that was on there that I didn't get a chance to read. If we could go back one slide for a second. The budget worksheet and narrative is worth 15% of your score, and the project timeline for each purpose area is worth 5%. One thing to note about the budget worksheet and narrative is that this year, the demographic form is still a part of that, but it's only for cops only this year, which is purpose area 1. We can move forward. The following information should be included in the application for submission. Project abstract is a new requirement this year, but it's really important that applicants include that. Last year we had it, but it was optional. This year it's absolutely a requirement. Could we go back one slide? Tribal authority to apply documentation, which is typically a tribal resolution, applicant disclosure of high-risk status, application disclosure of pending other applications with DOJ, disclosure of lobbying activities. Go back one slide. Indirect cost rate agreement, the financial management questionnaire, and other attachments as necessary. The application timeline, we opened on January 3rd. We're closing March 20th at 9 p.m. If you have no internet access, it's important that you contact the response center by February 15th to receive a paper application. DOJ expects to make awards for CTAS 2018 sometime around before or by September 30th of 2018, and all project start dates will be on October 1st of 2018. We can move to the next slide. Okay, again, the solicitation is open until March 20th. Applicants must submit their application through the Grants Management System, GMS, and we recommend that you register for GMS by the 27th of February so that it's not a rush job and you don't forget something. And if there's issues, you can have it figured out before the day before you're submitting. How to apply. These are the things that you're going to need. You're going to need a DUNS number. You're going to register with SAMS. You're going to require a GMS user name and ID. You're going to need to verify your SAM registration in GMS. And you're also going to search for the funding opportunity on GMS. If you go to grants.gov and click on it, it'll direct you directly to where you need to go. But you want to select register by selecting the apply button, and then submit your application consistent with the solicitation and by following the direction in GMS. Next slide, please. Only one application per tribe or tribal consortium will be accepted. We typically make calls a week or 2 weeks out if there's duplicate applications to let the applicant know that. However, if we don't get in touch with anyone, we will take the most recent application as final.
Please go back one slide, please. Again, the deadline is Tuesday, March 20th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Applicants who cannot submit, again, please contact the Response Center by February 15th. And you're strongly encouraged to submit your application. It says here 72 hours prior to the due date. I'm going to challenge everyone who's interested in applying to get that in a week or two before the deadline. Next slide, please. Peer reviewer selection process. Peer reviewers following the scoring criteria as laid out in the solicitation, so they'll go by this. And the selections committee also gives the peer reviewers strict rules on how they're supposed to review and govern things, so there's no need to worry about that. We work with them. Next slide, please. If you're interested in becoming a peer reviewer, these are the channels in which you must go through. Next slide. Please don't wait until the last day to submit your application in GMS. I can't stress this enough. Anything could happen, and you'd rather technical issues or errors happen 2 weeks before than the day before. So we've seen it several times, so we strongly encourage applicants to get your application in early. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. All right, you can stop right here. Education, outreach, training, and technical assistance. Please look at the information here and visit the DOJ website here. Webinars are scheduled throughout the open period. You can go to the CTAS webpage on the Tribal Justice and Safety website for a detail of that. If we could move forward back to the slide that I was on, please. Keep going. Stop right here. This is the slide I need. Fact sheets and frequently asked questions are also available. Right now we just have the CTAS wide fact sheet, but in a couple of weeks we should have the purpose area specific fact sheets. So if you go to the website, they're not there. You'll see a note that says coming soon. So just be on the lookout for those. The webinar schedule is as follows here, but you can also get that on the website. Technical and training and technical assistance, there's a website here. I would strongly recommend that applicants use this online tool to get familiar with that. Also, for more information, please contact the DOJ Response Center at tribalgrants@usdoj.gov. Their phone number is listed there as well, 1-800-421-6770. Slides keep moving on me, 1 second. If you want to sign up for email updates, you can also follow the prompt there. Important contact information for technical assistance information with submitting your application. You want to contact the GMS Help Desk. All that information is right there. Also, the Response Center's information is here again, and both offices of hours of operation are listed as well. Here's an online guide to CTAS. I would recommend that applicants look into that too, especially if it's your first time applying to CTAS. And lastly, I would just say plan strategically, think wisely, plan smartly on this. You want to read, design, organize, assess, partner with whoever you need to partner, whether internally or externally. Attend to details, do those little things like go back and double check that checklist and read each section of the solicitation specifically to the purpose areas that you're applying to. And at this point in time, we're going to take questions. So if anyone has any questions, please start typing away or asking away. And I believe that our technical assistance provider hosting the webinar is going to be reading the questions. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think that's what's happening.
Yes, that's correct. This is Gandra Lovell. I'm from the Training and Technical Assistance Center. And please, if you have questions regarding any of the purpose areas, type them in the question and answer box, and we will answer to the best of our knowledge. And if we do not get to your question, we will have an email of the question and answer pod, and a representative from DOJ will answer your question. So the first one is, what is a tribal designatee? So if someone can please answer that question. All right, I'll move on. Can a tribe propose the purchase of a prefabricated housing for detention officers under Purpose Area 4? Next question is, what's the difference between the tribe and a designatee? For example, the tribal council is the governing body for the tribe. Is the council a designatee?
Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, fantastic. A tribal designee is not a unit of the tribal government. It may be a nonprofit organization that the tribe has formally designated to apply on their behalf for a specific purpose area. So some purpose areas do allow that. For example, the OVW purpose areas allow that. And so the tribe would generally have to come up with a resolution or some other formal instrument that the individual tribe uses for that formal documentation stating that they were designating this nonprofit that works on the reservation to apply for Purpose Area 5 on their behalf.
Thank you. And then we had the second question, can a tribe propose the purchase of a prefabricated housing for detention officers in the Purpose Area 4?
I am not responsible for Purpose Area 4, so I'm not absolutely certain on this one, but if they're looking for housing for the officers that is in a place to live, I don't believe that that is allowable. My colleague Julius Dupree would be the person who would have the best answer to that, and I can, if you can forward the information on who the requester was privately, then we can get, excuse me, an answer to them after the webinar.
Okay. Let's see. Nora Murphy, can you show the screen with the phone number for GMS again, please? Yes, we will put that up. And then it says, in announcement, there is no narrative profile for Purpose Area 6, and Purpose Area 5 does not have an abstract sample.
Hi, this is James from OVW. There was a mix-up with the web team, and so the narrative document template was posted twice. So I'm in the process of having them take it down the second time and replace it with the abstract, which was supposed to be under there. So we're aware of that. Thank you so much, and we'll make sure that that happens today.
Okay. if we have not received peer review comments from our CTAS 2017 application, who can we contact to receive those?
You can contact your program manager for the respective office that, well, assuming you, I'll just say this, contact the response center for whatever purpose area you didn't get the comments for, and they can forward that to the respective POC for that purpose area, and that POC can make sure that you get the peer review comments.
Okay, next question. I'm confused about the slide where it said that a tribe can only have one application. We can submit one application with multiple PAs, right?
Yes, I think what, I'm sorry, go ahead, Trish.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you can do as few as one and as many as 9 purpose areas in your application, but there can only be one overall application. So if you have different departments working on different purpose areas, you need to make certain that when the application is submitted, those are all consolidated together under a single CTAS application.
Okay, next question. We currently have Purpose Area 3, no cost extension to September 30th, 2018. Can we apply for Purpose Area 8 Juvenile Tribal Healing to Wellness Courts? This would be the next step for youth court enhancement.
Yes, the Purpose Area 3 award will not have an impact on eligibility for other purpose areas.
Okay, next question. Does the Purpose Area 9 prohibition on eligibility apply to any CTAS awards that end after 6/30/19 or only Purpose Area 9 awards?
Can you state the question again? I'm sorry, I didn't really follow completely.
Okay. Does the Purpose Area 9 prohibition on eligibility apply to any CTAS awards that end after 6/30/19 or only Purpose Area 9 awards?
Only Purpose Area 9, although it is possible that it may also relate to Purpose Area 8. It seems that our staff that are together at OJP are not able to speak right now. I would say confirm that with OJJDP. It may be that 8 and 9 are both involved in that eligibility question, but I'm not certain. I do know it's definitely not any of the purpose areas other than OJJDP.
Okay, next question. Are architectural plans required for renovations in Purpose Area number 4?
This is another one that really belongs to my colleague Julius Dupree. I can't answer that with certainty, so I'm going to ask that the requester's information be forwarded to us so that we can get a correct answer for that.
Okay, next question. Is there a ceiling award amount for the purpose areas or ceiling for total ask if multiple areas are requested?
Each purpose area has general guidelines as to how much will be awarded, and generally we do not go above those guidelines. Those are in the solicitation. There's a chart that details all of that. And generally the offices stick close to those because there are a limited amount of funds. But as far as a total amount across all purpose areas, there is not a set limit. It would just be the totals of each purpose area applied for.
That's good.
Okay, next question. If the tribal council, the tribe itself, is applying, does that exempt the resolution requirement?
No, we do require a tribal resolution or whatever comparable instrument the particular tribe uses with each application. Just stating that the tribal government is supportive of the tribe applying for the funding.
Okay. I'm sorry, we can hear somebody in the background. If you can please mute your line. Thank you. All right, next question. If there is a COPS grant awarded, not expended, and extended, Purpose Area 1, does that affect eligibility?
I'm going to check and see if any of our colleagues at COPS are able to speak yet or not. I don't know if anyone can be heard yet.
And then, Neil, yes, a transcript will be available for the webinar. And then we had a couple other people at the beginning ask if the presentation is available for download. Yes, it is in the presentation for download box right next to the chat and the Q&A. Fiscal year 2018 CTAS General Overview Presentation. If you click on that, and at the bottom it gives you the option to upload file or download file. And that's how you get the presentation that was presented today. There is a question here in the chat. Is the abstract limited to particular length?
I don't remember the answer to that question. It should be in the solicitation, but we can certainly get back to the requester if you can get the information for us.
Okie dokie. And a couple more asking about the hard copy of the presentation. Looks like there is the answer in the question and answer for the 400 words, it looks like, for the abstract.
Thank you.
And somebody asked, I thought you could apply for all the purpose areas.
Yes, you can. You can apply for as many or as few as you would like. You just have to be sure that it's all within a single overarching application.
Okay. We still have about 10 more minutes on this webinar. If you have any questions, please type them in now to the question and answer so we can get to them. Okay, another question. To go back, are architectural plans required for renovations proposed in Purpose Area number 4? I didn't hear the answer.
That was another one that my colleague Julius Dupree, who got cut off earlier in the webinar, would be best to answer. I believe that before renovation is done, plans have to be submitted, but I do not know the timing of that. I don't know whether it needs to be at the time of application or prior to the actual work. So Julius needs to answer that question if we can get the requester's information, please.
Okay. Another question, are there match requirements, limits on indirect?
I don't believe any of the purpose areas contain match requirements anymore. Many years ago they did, but I don't believe they do anymore. This information will be in the solicitation, the FAQ as well. And as far as limits on indirects, there has to be a federally approved indirect cost rate with whomever is your federal cognizant agency, and that may or may not be DOJ. It's often DOI, but we would need to use your approved federal indirect cost rate.
Okay, so no cap on administrative cost.
I'm not 100% certain across all the purpose areas, so that's another one we really probably should get back on, but generally we will use the approved indirect cost rate that has been negotiated.
Okay, and then it appears that tribal organizations are not authorized to apply for Purpose Area 8 and 9. Is that correct?
I do not know the answer to that one. That one needs to go to our OJJDP colleagues. I don't know if tribes are eligible to apply for both in the same year or not. I thought they were, but since the question was raised, I want to be sure that my colleagues at OJJDP are able to confirm that or deny it depending on what the status is.
Okay, and if we received a 2014 grant for Purpose Area 139 and received an extension, can we still apply?
That's going to vary based on the office. I know that for Purpose Area 3, you would be able to apply. We do not have a restriction on applying again. If there is a large balance of unused funds still in the previous award, for example, the award is 4 years old and 75% of the funds have not been obligated or expended, you're going to be a lot less likely to receive the award. It's not that you're ineligible, it's just that it doesn't show that the funds are really needed if money is not being spent over the course of many years. So, but other than that, there's not a restriction in Purpose Area 3 on that. I would have to defer to my colleagues in the COPS office and OJJDP on Purpose Areas 1 and 9.
Okay, and if we have not received peer review comments from our CTAS 2017 application, who can we contact to receive those?
You can send an email to the response center and specify which purpose areas you are looking for comments on, and they will make sure that that request gets to the correct person to get the information to you.
Okay, and yes, Terry, the webinar is available for listening later. And if the file to download the presentation is available right now in the presentation for download box. Just highlight it in blue and you can either upload or download the file. It's available right now. And just remember, if your question was not answered today, the question and answer transcript will go out to the appropriate representative who can answer your questions if they weren't answered today.
I just want to apologize, everyone, for the technical difficulty, but we will make sure that we follow up quickly on any of those questions that I was not able to answer for you.
Okay, I want to say thank you, everyone, for joining today. And I have switched the screens, and if you see on the lower left-hand corner, we have a webinar survey. If you can please click on that link, and it says Browse To. If you can please fill out the survey for us and let us know what we need to improve on. And if you have any additional questions in regards to the grant assistance, we also have the DOJ Response Center, tribal grants at usdoj.gov, or you can call the 1-800 number at 1-800-421-6770, and that is also available in the presenter contact information. We will leave those two up a little while longer so you guys can get to the webinar survey, and if you need to write down the contact information. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.